Kyrie, you set your first quarter high for the postseason, and then quite a bit more on top of that. What did you see early on to attack that aggressively?
We just had to start off the game with an aggressiveness and just make sure we bring Rudy away from the basket as much as possible. We understand that's Defensive Player of the Year. They got first team, second team, all defensive guys. So as much as we could attack them in transition before they set their defense, which I got a few opportunities to do, got a few N1s to go. So I was feeling good in the first quarter and just settling, where we are in this Western Conference Finals. A lot of anxiety, some nerves. I've been here before, so a little bit more poise on my end, just being able to start the game with the confidence and that aggression,
It seemed like they were really working to take away threes, especially, you guys took 4 corner threes. It's vastly different than what you guys just saw against Oklahoma City. How would you describe kind of the differences of what you're seeing on the offensive end?
They got guys that can cover up a lot of space and do a lot of little things that don't show up in the stat sheet. They contest a lot of shots, and their rotations are pretty quick. So we know we're going against a high-powered offense, but also a high-powered defense, and that's what leads to a lot of their runouts is a lot of turnovers or a lot of live ball turnovers and getting opportunity to score on us before we set our defense. We're a good defensive team as well, so seeing a lot of chess matches out there, and as long as the team that gets the most stops, gets the offensive rebounds, gets a lot of 50-50 basketballs, does those things, then they'll win.
Kyrie, you talked about having experience at this stage, but it's been a few years for you. What are the ways that you think you've grown between the player who was last in a conference final and now? Is there a difference to your thinking in those two players?
Yeah, absolutely. It was just I was surrounded with some veterans and also had an opportunity to take a bit of a back seat in the leadership role. When you're 24, 23 years old, you feel like you're a leader, but you don't know what it really takes to run an organization or really touch guys. On and off the court, where you give them a lot of confidence and you exude that belief in them. So I've just been learning, reading a lot, failing a lot, and also dealing with the heavy criticism while also being able to be back on this stage and not take it for granted. These moments that I look back on my career where I've taken some pretty, tough losses, I've been able to respond, but haven't been able to get back over that hump, getting past the first round or the second round. So, just being truthful about where I am as a player, and then also knowing that I got to support my guys as best I can. And, it's just a new chapter in my life. I was a young man, and I think that, people were holding on to my words and things and actions that I did then. But I think now, being 32 years old, I've crossed over that mountain a little bit and been able to figure out that basketball is it's a sport I was meant to play. And in order to do that, I got to make other guys better, too. I can't just be out there scoring and worrying about me.
Speaking of being better, Kyrie, Jason said that you guys did not play very well tonight and found a way to win. Is there a benefit to that? Can that be something that benefits you going forward, knowing that you don't have to necessarily play your best game and you can still get it done and find a way to win here?
Yeah, I think J-Kid's right. We didn't play our best game. We had moments throughout the game where we looked a little lackadaisical energy-wise in terms of our rotations, and they got in transition and they hit some big threes that we wanted to take away from them. So we have some correctables. We have some things that we can talk about tomorrow. But the object of this series is to get as many wins as possible, first to 4. While also respecting your opponent, understanding that they're going to give you their best shot in Game 2. So we did something great tonight, but we didn't win the series, and we understand that. And we know that they're going to be highly motivated to beat us next game as they were tonight. But it just wasn't their night. It was ours, and we got to continue to do the little things that got us this win tonight.
You obviously were rolling in the first half. It was kind of Luka's turn there in the fourth quarter. What did you see from him down the stretch there, and why do you think he was able to get in that kind of rhythm?
I felt like Luka stayed positive, and at times when he reacted to turnovers or passes that didn't convert to baskets for us, I was just reminding him just to keep his head up and realize where we are in the magnitude of this. A lot of guys look to him for emotional stability and emotional strength. We know he's one of the best scorers of all time really now. He's proven it, and when he's going out there and not necessarily playing well offensively in the first half, I know in the second half he's going to be aggressive. And I think we've been able to figure out that 1-2 punch of just playing the point guard role, playing that main scorer's role, and just not lacking in other areas in the basketball game. He can do other things, and I can do other things other than scoring. So when it's his time to score, it's my time to play defense and get up in my guy and contest shots and continue to do the little things that get us wins.
And you've talked about Ant as being one of those kids with no fear.
Yeah.
He's on TNT after Game 7 talking about, I got Kyrie.
Yeah.
What did you think of that matchup and kind of that game within the game?
Yeah, no, as a peer, man, I love that. I love it, man. It's nothing better. When Ant was a little bit younger, I'm sure he was watching me, and when he was in high school, I was watching him. So for me, it's more of those exciting matchups that I look forward to too. Right after the game, it was funny because he said it right then and there, and I think the whole world was looking like, okay, you better know what you're talking about, and I respect that, and that no fear mentality that he has is why I love him as a competitor and why I love him as a person. But when we're on that court, I know he's gonna give his all. I'm gonna give him my all, and at the end of the game, it's all love, and we're in between those lines. He knows what it is, and I know what it is.
Kyrie, I think this for the 6th straight year, there's going to be a new champion.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about how long it's been since you've been to this conference final stage. Do you sense the urgency or opportunity that's in front of you guys, and is that a message that you sort of impart to the guys?
I just talk about not taking things for granted and also understanding the moment that we're in. Again, I've been to the mountaintop. I've succeeded and I've also failed. So I look at this moment as an opportunity to help other guys really settle in and be aware of what comes with this. There's a lot of maturity that comes with this. There's a lot of awareness of strategy. And there are plenty of basketball techniques that you got to be aware of too. So I think it's a combination of us coming together as a young team, me as this veteran leader, and just saying the right things to them where they need to hear in the right spots. And it really takes the off-the-court stuff, the off-the-court little things that we do in order to translate things on the court. That's the makings of a great team. One thing is we go out there and play, we hoop, that's what we do. But off the court, we really support each other. We do the little things. So.
You and Luke are clearly the most experienced players on this roster. Mm-hmm. Do you notice the trust level growing from some of your younger teammates to you guys, even throughout the course of the game, that even if things aren't going right, that everybody's sort of staying tight and nobody's really straying?
Yeah. I think we've gotten quite a few tests in these last 2 series where we've lost on the road and we've been able to win on the road, and we've proven to ourselves how to respond to losses. But I think this is the first series where we've been able to start off with a win. Now we got to learn how to deal with this too. We can't be satisfied. The job's not even near finished. So that's what makes this exciting as a competitor, is being able to do it again and knowing that you have to play even harder to get another win.